So if you don't already know, the SCP Foundation is a fictional organization with the goal of securing, containing, and protecting different anomalies across space and time. The world of the SCP Foundation is immense and ever-expanding, with over 6,000 different entries, with more being written every passing day. My goal is to read through all of them, producing a video about a random entry every Sunday. Some of them I know well, and most of them I have never heard about. With the help of a spinner, I shall begin with the first 1,000. Welcome to SCP Sunday. So I have the spinner here. Sorry that it's in light mode, I don't know how to change that. We have the first 1 through 999. This is also excluding 196, which we did last week. If you don't know that I did that, you can go check it out. Let's just see what we get this week. Okay, so we have SCP-143. This is SCP-143. It's called the Bladewood Grove. Let's dive into it. Item number, SCP-143. Object class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-143 is to be contained in the valley adjacent to the Bio-Research Area 12, an area over 2 kilometers squared. Areas surrounding SCP-143 for up to 20 kilometers, and all lines of sight from the surrounding hilltops are to be denied public access. SCP-143 is to be watered twice every day on a regular basis via a large sprinkler system, unless already watered by local precipitation. Personnel are not allowed to enter the enclosure without Level 4 administrative clearance and are advised not to touch any of SCP-143, nor to stand beneath them unless wearing proper protective gear. It is important that no one be within the containment area when SCP-143 begins to shed. However, after the shedding has concluded, the collection of the fallen petals for testing purposes has been authorized by the project director. See SCP-143 testing log. Now that we've covered the procedures for containing SCP-143, let us move on to the description. SCP-143 is a plantation of 300 specimens of a unique type of tree. These trees are similar in appearance to Prunus x yedoensis, Japanese sakura, or cherry blossoms. They bear no fruit, and the only known way of reproduction is by careful on-root propagation using cut samplings from an older sample. The petals are a light pinkish color, slightly translucent, and with a texture of smooth glass. Care must be taken when handling the petals, as their edges are razor sharp and can easily slice through flesh if mishandled. The wood and bark are a light grayish color, with a texture expected of wood, although the grain is very smooth to the touch. The petals and wood of these trees are much harder than most natural or man-made substances, reaching up to 5,000 HB on the Brinell scale, and withstanding temperatures of up to 1,800 degrees Celsius. The weight-to-strength ratio surpasses even that of titanium, being some 15% lighter than aluminum. Despite this hardness, the wood and petals are quite supple and are as pliable as most woods are. Both are notoriously difficult to work due to their properties, but put under high temperatures, upwards of 1,500 degrees Celsius, separate pieces are capable of being fused together. They make an excellent armor, shielding, and weapons. Due to the slow growth of the plants, the material is slow to harvest, although the petals are shed regularly enough, falling from the trees twice every year. Let us now move on to Addendum 143-1. The trees are grown on-site from saplings obtained from parent plants located in Nara Prefecture, Japan, in 1905. The parent trees were owned by a family of traditionalist swordsmiths, claiming to be descended from a legendary sword maker named Amakuni. They referred to the original trees as Jinki no Kodachi, or the Bladewood Grove. It is from them that the Foundation gained the techniques to cut and work the wood and petals into serviceable items. The original trees are still in Japan, owned by the government, and still tended to by the same family. However, the government has denied all existence of the trees, and any products made from them are kept within the country. So these trees have actually a pretty cool story, I guess. It's not every day you hear of a tree being grown by descendants of legendary sword makers, but you can tell that the person who wrote this has some experience with the Japanese language, or knows how to use Google Translate, or takes inspiration from Japanese cultural works. Let's move on to the last part of this SCP article, document 143-A. We lost 3 staff to 143 today. They were collecting petals dropped by the trees the previous day when a sudden gust picked up, shaking a good deal of the petals from the trees and blowing them around. Stayed that windy for the whole day. I'd send a cleanup crew, but it's still pretty windy and the odd petal is still falling. We'll have to pick up the remains when the wind dies down in a couple of days. Oh my! I forgot that these things were sharp as razors, so yeah, I guess a good gust of wind when the leaves are falling could be pretty much a death sentence to anybody trying to collect them. So, all in all, this SCP article is actually kind of interesting. It's definitely not the most hectic or reality bending or even just dangerous. It's just, it's just a tree that has some properties that are quite anomalous, being leaves that are very sharp and wood that is very strong. I would cover the SCP-143 testing log, but it seems that I've run out of time for today. You guys can go check it out on yourself. I'll link the article so you can check out the testing log as well. Well, thank you for tuning in to SCP Sunday. This is episode 2, and this is Al from Half Human, signing out.